Hello everybody, this is Donnie with Pvgna.com. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today's video comes right before the main event of the Bucharest Major takes place, and we are going to talk about the group stage game between Evil Geniuses and Team Liquid. And we're going to cover this game because it was probably the most exciting game from the group stages, and we have a rematch of these two teams in a best of three in the main event today. If you didn't watch the group stages, it was a very, very exciting game. Team Liquid, as they tend to do, destroyed the early game, controlled a lot of the tempo into the mid game, and then Evil Geniuses made a highly entertaining and gutsy comeback that took the game well into the late game and involved a ton of momentum shifts back and forth. So I wanted to break down this game and talk about how Evil Geniuses was able to pull that off. Hopefully that will get you guys excited to watch Evil Geniuses against Team Liquid round 2 in the best of 3 in the main event. So let's start just briefly with the drafting phase. If you notice, Team Liquid's high ground is not very good with their first 4 picks. The 5th pick for Liquid is a Miracle Phantom Lancer, and this hero is obviously very strong situationally. Evil Geniuses does not have very good illusion clear, and it's something that can deal with the Morphling and can potentially get out of control and just 1v5 in team fights if he has enough farm. One thing to notice though is that this still does not give Team Liquid exceptional tower pushing ability. None of their heroes except for Razor with Aghanims and a lot of farm is able to really just kind of run up and beat on a tower very well. And as we'll see here, Evil Geniuses then picks an Abaddon. And this Abaddon pick is really pretty excellent because his shield will be able to save his allies from Lasso. It will be able to save them from Bane spells. It will be able to save them from Elder Titans, Sleep. And in addition to that, Abaddon is sort of a low-key, very strong pushing hero that can synergize well with the Nature's Prophet and the Dragon Knight and Morphling. It's also a hero that is pretty self-sufficient in lane, and while we look at this draft and we see that Evil Geniuses are going to have a pretty terrible laning stage because none of their heroes matches up very well against the potential laning matchups on Team Liquid's side. So as you can see, the early game and the laning phase went about as expected from the draft. Team Liquid just absolutely destroyed all 3 lanes. EG really kind of put themselves in a bad spot with their draft, and they didn't have any real way of laning this that didn't completely screw over all of their heroes. So you can see that Miracle had an excellent early game. He was facing Arteezy on the Morphling and Crit on the Rubik, and he had support from Bane, which is just an incredibly hard lane for the Morphling and the Rubik to deal with. We had Matumba Man on the Razor against Sumail in the bottom lane, and we had Mind Control on the Batrider against Fear's Dragon Knight in the mid lane. And Mind Control had an excellent early game. He was 6-2-1, lots of CS. The only person on Evil Geniuses who had a not completely terrible early game was Sumail. And we can see that he just killed this tower while Kuroki actually got the deny, but Sumail knocked down the tower as a safe lane Abaddon, and that is basically just because Team Liquid left him alone in the safe lane as they went and killed Arteezy top. So just to further the point, we can look at the net worth and the EXP graph, and we can see that this game looks quite one-sided. It's 12-3, 10 minutes into the game, 5k net worth lead, even though EG actually has taken a tower and Team Liquid has not. But I did want to stop at this point and just highlight this because the fact that EG has taken a tower is a very important thing to remember as we move forward. So let's get into EG's comeback. This first clip that we're going to look at is sort of the beginning of the turning point in this game. And you can see that Team Liquid is ahead by 3k, they're ahead by 12 kills, they have almost taken a tier 3 tower, but Evil Geniuses is still in this game. They've managed to recover quite a bit on their Morphling, they have a pretty farmed Abaddon, and they haven't had their base cracked yet. They've managed to also take a number of Team Liquid's towers and are not as in trouble as they were based on the laning stage. Now we can see here that Team Liquid is starting to take Roshan. One thing to note that we know from the beginning of the game in the draft is that they're not a very good team at taking objectives. You can see here that even with this medallion being used, they don't have a solar crest yet, but even with this medallion being used, they've been hitting this Roshan for quite some time, and it is still above half health. This speaks to Team Liquid's draft. They have a hard time taking objectives. You can see they are ahead by 12 kills. They were ahead by quite a bit of net worth in the early and mid game, and they still have not managed to crack Evil Genius's base, despite Evil Geniuses not having that good of a counter pushing lineup. So we can see here that the slow taking of Roshan allows Evil Geniuses to mount a defense, and at the same time, Misery is pushing this lane and threatening Team Liquid's base. So I'm going to slow down this fight, and we're going to watch as Arteezy blows up Kuroki. Team Liquid leaves the Roshan pit to engage Evil Geniuses. And we see that Miracle goes back into the Rosh pit to escape from Sumail, who has Radiance Burn on him as he's very low. And Sumail is just trying to chase down Miracle. And he actually manages to kill Miracle. Again, Roshan still at half health. Meanwhile, Misery is threatening the tier 3 with his treants. Now, Crit buys back because they realize they can take this fight. Arteezy is at full health because he was able to take most of his damage in Razor form and then switch back to Morphling. Pretty balanced ability. And EG can now re-engage Team Liquid. Liquid has no ultimates and they have 3 heroes alive. This means that Evil Geniuses can now take control of this Rosh pit area, win the fight, and then take Roshan uncontested. All the while, Misery is hitting this tier 3 tower. This is the power of the Evil Geniuses lineup. They have superior split pushing, they have superior objective taking ability, and because Arteezy is playing a hero like Morphling that can instantly kill another hero, you'll notice that that's another thing that's missing from Liquid's draft. They have a lot of lockdown, they've got teamfight abilities, but they really don't have the ability to instantly kill anybody on the other team. And that's a problem. Even Phantom Lancer, with his massive net worth, cannot instantly kill another hero on the other team. And that is something that EG will use. So at this point, 37 minutes into the game, almost 38 minutes into the game, Liquid has now claimed a second lane of barracks. Liquid is now 5k ahead, so they've extended the lead that they had before, but they haven't managed to close out the game. Miracle is still far ahead on his Phantom Lancer, but we can also see that despite being down 2 lanes of barracks, only one of Liquid's lanes is pushed onto the EG side of the map. Misery is doing an excellent job of pushing out the lanes at every single chance he gets. Additionally, Morphling can instantly clear creep waves. Abaddon with his Radiance and Shield can clear creep waves very quickly. Dragon Knight can clear creep waves very quickly. So pushing ability that EG has still is keeping the pressure off of their side of the map. This allows them to just go into Rosh, and because of their objective taking ability, they can very quickly bring down this Rosh. This is something that Liquid don't have the ability to do. We're skipping pretty far ahead for this next clip here, and we can see that despite EG winning some fights and being able to take the Rosh, they are now 14k behind at 49 minutes into this game. Liquid has slowed the pace down. They've realized that they have 2 lanes of racks. They still are in control of this game, objectives-wise. They actually end up taking the 3rd Rosh and getting the Refresher Shard, which you can see on Matuma Man here. Now, this particular fight is going to demonstrate, again, the power of having the ability to instantly remove a hero from a fight. And that is something that Team Liquid does not have. We can see that Miracle has incredibly high amounts of farm. He's got a ton of items, but they don't have the ability to delete another hero from the fight because even though they have the Batrider Lasso, there still needs to be some damage over time that is done because Miracle's Phantom Lancer doesn't do a whole lot of damage without a lot of illusions hitting things. Razor is a damage over time hero. Bane doesn't contribute a lot of damage. Elder Titan can do the Earth Splitter, and that can sort of instantly kill something, but it still takes time to set up, and it's not something that will just remove a hero from the game like a Morphling will with its shotgun combo. So as we watch this fight, we will see that Liquid is pushing the base with a massive advantage. Arteezy is dead. We can see that even with a 14k net worth advantage, Liquid is having a hard time pushing high ground. Matuma Man is using a double Eye of the Storm to try and take down this tower. Now, as this tower is about to fall, EG engages, Arteezy buys back, Arteezy jumps in and brings Matuma Man down to 1/3 HP almost instant. Sumail's shield explodes, doing more magic damage, and Miracle, who doesn't have the Aegis, is caught in the middle of a lot of AoE magic damage as well. So once Arteezy kills Matuma Man, both Eyes of the Storm are gone. Miracle's low, There's no more lasso. GH doesn't have Earth Splitter yet, so that might have been a huge mistake on their part to not have that big team fight ability. And Arteezy jumps in, and we'll see if this fight is not turning out exactly how Liquid had envisioned it, because Evil Geniuses has the ability to do way more damage instantaneously than Liquid does. And now they're really in trouble because they're on the run, all of their heroes are low, and Arteezy is just taking over. As the fourth Roshan of the game becomes contested, we see that both teams know that this is a very, very game-winning objective to take and are posturing around the Roche pit. And we can see that, once again, is just another indication of the power of having the ability to burst something. We see Matumba Man with almost 4,000 HP, basically one shot with the Null Field, Breathe Fire, Abaddon's Shield, and Arteezy's Shotgun Blast. So 4,000 HP gone almost instantly, and right there, the fight is over. Roche is free for the taking, and Liquid are feeling pretty worried at this point. They're only up 5k, and they want to recontest this Roche. Now again, Arteezy jumps in and just deletes GH. This Morphling's burst is just way too strong for Liquid to handle. So they throw all of their disable on Morph. They end up killing the Morphling, but the damage has been done. He's forced 2 buybacks, and while Liquid does end up fighting back, the trade is really in EG's favor. While these crazy late game fights are going on, Misery is taking racks. At 61 minutes in, with Arteezy dead for 50 seconds, Liquid says, okay, let's end this game. We have all of our cores up, don't have buyback on Morphling. Let's see what we can do. And they overestimate their abilities to stay alive against the amount of disables that EG now has. EG has bought 2 hexes. They've itemized extremely well to deal with this Phantom Lancer. And you can see that they're able to bring down both of Liquid's cores. They just don't have a way to deal with all of this disable and magic damage that is coming out from the side of EG. And they just don't have the ability to kill buildings fast enough. You saw it. Phantom Lancer was hitting the building. Fraser was hitting the building, and they didn't take it down. Now, with both of the cores dead on Team Liquid, EG is free to just run down mid and end the game. So this was a super crazy game. It was really back and forth. We can see the swings here in the graph. We can see that Liquid actually lost this game with a gold lead. And this just goes to show you the power of being able to push waves and the weakness of not being able to push waves and hit buildings. That, in essence, along with some really good plays from Evil Geniuses and some mistakes on the Liquid side, conspired for Liquid to lose a game that they had completely in the bag at the 20 or 25 minute mark. And even later in the game, they were very far ahead 50 minutes into the game. They were very far ahead 55 minutes into the game. And they still lost because they didn't have the ability to push waves and hit buildings. So how do we apply this to our pub games? When you are looking at your lineup, look to see whether you have heroes that can clear creep waves, pressure towers, take Roshan. These objectives are what really matter in the game in the long run. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're able to learn something from these pros. I hope this gets you excited for the best of 3 that we have coming up between these 2 teams. I'm sure it's going to be a really, really crazy series. I hope that we get all 3 games. I hope all of them are even close to as exciting as this group stage game was. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you like this content, let us know. Give us a thumbs up or a comment below, and we will see you next time.